Gator Dave, still green.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to that nightly chat, y'all. I am Z Garcia. I'm here with the brothers Murph.
What's up, though?
That's Nick. That's Mike. I'm Z. Let's do this thing. Can everybody see and hear me okay? And these fellas, let's make sure everything's good before
That's the question of the moment, I suppose.
It really is. No, I'm scared. I don't have my safety net.
It's my favorite thing about going live. Is just always the. Are we here? Is anyone?
Am I talking to myself?
Is anyone here? That's always the question.
I could talk for an hour and then realize like none of that was on air.
That's we are because somebody says it's the brother Smurf.
Yeah, Smurf, indeed.
So I think we're good.
Indeed. What's up, everybody? Hi, everybody.
All right.
We're here. We're doing this daily chat thing.
Let's do this thing, guys. So you guys are out in Cali right now?
As always,
California, well, 6 p.m.
It's 6 p.m. here in California. You're doing the late night tonight, Z. It's 9 p.m. over there. Yeah, we're here in LA, per usual. It's great. It's expensive. It's rainy today, actually, which it never rains here. So it's actually a pretty exciting day for us, you know. We got some precipitation falling from the sky. It's great.
Crazy.
Yep.
You know, it's nuts. You Floridians have no idea, man. It's crazy over here.
That's crazy, man, right?
All right. How's the mini painting turning out? What's you guys painting minis? What's going on?
Yeah, I was live earlier painting minis. It's going good. It's not anywhere near done, but it's going good.
Nick I'm painting. He's doing the
Scourge
of the Abyss mini that came with the Leviathan expansion.
You know that little mini you get, the Leviathan expansion that literally does not need to exist, but it does for some reason.
The guy who's got the trident or the
he's thing? Like I just started him, so he looks like poo poo. But it's like this guy. So he's got like his trident. He's like standing on top of a bunch of coral and stuff. So I was painting this guy because it's a really cool big mini that serves basically no purpose. Because it's just like whoever's killed the most Leviathans, you have that mini in front of you, and then you get like 10 points
around throughout the game.
But I'm like, this could have been a token. Like, there's no need for this to be this giant, awesome mini.
Oh, man,
but it's a really cool mini.
They got to charge you those extra $10 or whatever.
It's that Bombix life, dude. That Bombix be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, they're going to make it nice.
It's better than the one from the first expansion. It's also a mini, but it doesn't look like anything. It's just like a mass of tentacles.
Yeah, right?
It looks like plastic runoff, you know? And then somebody took it right before it solidified and like poked it a few times to give you some suckers on those tentacles. Yeah. Bam, there you go.
Boom,
yeah, the second one's better, so.
Yeah, this is legitimately a cool mini.
It's that thing of like if you're gonna have something that isn't needed for like it's an unnecessary add-on, like make it really good.
Make it cool.
Don't add something on, then also make it not worth the time and money. You know? That's cool. At least it's neat, if not necessary.
So, what do you think about that? There's a lot of expansions and even just games that give you like you can tell right away. You look at it and you go, man, that one thing which isn't needed. Adds $10 for sure. Like I am certain this adds this much. Would you rather have it or not have it?
That's a good. Personally, I can say for me, I'd rather have it. I don't mind overproduced games. I totally understand people who don't like them, and I think it's a totally valid opinion to be like, that sucks. Don't do that. I don't want to pay more money. I think that's a totally fair thing to feel. I personally like it. I like pretty games. I like really well produced, even overproduced games.
Sure.
Like Bombix, the company makes Abyss, like habitually overproduce all of their games. Right. Like Histrio is one of our favorite games. I know you like it too, Z. And that game is way overproduced for what is ultimately a pretty light game.
Yeah.
And I personally never mind it.
I think
never. I can't say never.
The only issue you run in, I think it depends on the type of game, because if it like Abyss and Histrio are lighter games, then you would like think by looking at them.
Yes.
Just because of like the production. So I think that sometimes throws people off. I know with people with Abyss specifically because of the art and everything, they're like, oh, I thought that was going to be like a big, heavy game. And it's like,
it's not. It's pretty light,
collection type game.
I agree with that. I like it. Personally, I like it.
Yeah.
I agree that it makes for bad first impressions where people are thinking, this is going to be one big thing. I paid $60 for this. You know, this is going to be a $60 experience, whatever. And it ends up being a card game. Yeah, that could lead to some bitterness, But
totally,
I do like it. I agree, man. I like overproduced. I don't, you know.
I'm like, produce it. Give me those minis.
That's part of it for me. It's a big part of it.
Yeah, totally.
It's part of like we're there to delight in all of our senses, right? Like we want a nice puzzle from the game, but I want things to look nice. I want them to feel nice. I'll happily pay more if I'm getting something high quality back. Like, you know, again, Abyss, like that mini is kind of an added on thing, and the game has amazing art, but like that is part of why we keep that game around. Because it's just a really pretty thing to look at on top of a fun game experience. I don't know. I think it's important, and I don't know. It's just like, if you're going to save $5 or maybe $10 and everything's just like a cube now, I'm like, I don't want that though.
And again, I get what people don't, but I would rather pay an extra $10. It doesn't really bother me. Like, board games are already a luxury hobby. Right. Like, and so to me, like, spending an extra $10 doesn't, you know, it doesn't really matter as much. You know, it's like if I really care that much, I just won't get the game. Like, it's just not, I don't know, it's not that big a deal to me, honestly, but
it's all
I like it. And some people would say, like, I prefer upgrade kits over, like, the base game being that way. And I also see that aspect, because then you can choose whether or not. But, like, see, I kind of agree. I was like, I was taking the base game.
Plus, I don't like when the look of the bits that are supposed to upgrade my game don't match the look of the game.
Yes.
That's a big one for me. Anyway, all right, I got a question here. I'm going to see if I can add it to the broadcast. Some fancy.
Oh.
Blam, look at that.
You fancy that. Hi, Crystal Paisano.
Oh, hello.
All right, so it says, which game changed your life the most? Any recent games that changed your life? That's what the question is from Andres Lisans.
Oh, gosh.
Are you guys looking at the stream? I don't know if you are watching the actual stream or not.
We're not looking at the stream.
We have the chat up, so we're all there.
Let me see. I
so
can have
games that change our life.
Yeah.
Man, oh my gosh, my headphones went out.
Man, well, I just
can't hear anything. Oh God.
So that's a tough one. Games that
Everybody calm down. What?
I was trying to carry on, but I kept it about you.
Games that changed your life, man. Which game changed your life the most is the question.
The first game I ever played? Pandemic?
Pandemic. I mean, Pandemic. Like, because that was the game, like, that we had an experience long before we even got into the hobby where, like, on a New Year's Eve, he was dating a gal at the time. Their family were big into board games. Yeah. And we played Pandemic, and they had, like, I didn't know at the time, but they had upgraded their game in different ways. Like, the little player pawns came in a pill bottle and stuff. And I was just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
And, like, we had to save the world, and we just played it over and over and over, and I had never done anything like that. So,
So what you're saying is this gal's family had a lot of pill bottles.
They did, man.
I mean, they had plenty to spare.
You guys aren't together anymore. Okay.
No, we're not. We're not together anymore. So I can say they had a lot of pill bottles.
I think you're painting a picture, man.
You know, they had some spares.
What you putting down.
Yeah.
That is a good question, man. I think for me it was when I first played Carcassonne. I remember I bought it at a local game store, and I was in college, I think, and I opened it up. I started punching it in the car right before I went to a class or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just my mind was blown when it dawned on me finally. I was like, wait, hold up. There is no board. You build the board and play on it. Like, you're both building up. It's kind of like when people were like flabbergasted about deck building. They were like, wait, you build a deck and play the game at the same time? That's how I felt with Carcassonne. I was like, wait, you build a board and then play on that board?
Yeah. I think that's part of like why Carcassonne is such an amazing gateway game, because there are so many people that have that exact reaction where you just get the stack of tiles. You're like, all right, let's start. And they're like, well, don't you have to set up stuff? You're like, no.
Nah.
You create.
Where's the board?
It's
coming.
Yeah, and it's because it'll never be the same. It's just
because even so, like,
really cool
Pandemic, which is like I think is one of the best gateway games because it's great and it's a co-op, which I think is good for new people. But it's like you still have a board. It's something that they can wrap their head around. Carcassonne is so wildly different than anything you've seen if you only play like mass market stuff.
Yeah. Just the idea that you put one tile on the center of the table and be like, and begin. They're like, what?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Of recently, I don't know. Again, it's like changed our lives recently. I mean,
I got the answer right here, dude.
What?
The Crew.
Oh, Mike's on The Crew. Yeah.
The Crew.
Whatever. That's like that's the new thing you're on now.
Oh my gosh, we played it like 50 times while we just got back from the UK. If anyone didn't know, we were in the UK for a week and a half, and like we played it I think 50 times. It's really
like
fun.
Individual rounds. The reason, and maybe it's not going to be to everyone's liking, I really like trick taking games. I don't know how you feel in general about
I like them. Yeah.
So I like it because trick taking is super fun, and I got started off by playing spades a number of years ago, and that one's fun because you have a teammate, and it's all about communication.
Yeah,
the cards that I play, and then specifically the cards that I don't play, we're doing a lot of talking, and the crew is just all about that.
Yeah,
like taking that and then twisting it and trying to see like how far can you possibly stretch that communication with, like, oh, you played a green 7. Well, clearly you got the pink 2. We all know that.
Obviously, we all know that.
You know, and just the ability to do that is
It's cool.
fun. It's really good.
It's really good.
I get that. I think I felt that way when I first played Hanabi too. Like that whole what you say is as much as what you don't say. You know, like all that information. So I get that.
Yeah, so you get a whole second language in Hanabi, which is awesome.
Yeah, you do.
What's everybody talking about? We
got
Kabuki Kid in here. Okay, hold on, guys. We got Kabuki Kid now. We can start.
Kabuki!
Right.
Yo.
Kabuki's here. That's all that matters.
Hey, tight.
All right, so people are talking about, what are we talking about here? Somebody's talking, or a group of people are talking about that new video game. What's it called?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. That's the thing right now. Are you guys playing that? Are you playing?
No.
Not yet. I might get into it if we have time on our hands. I don't know.
I've never done
no
issue.
I don't know. I have no idea. People just said the point is to relax. Just relax into it.
I feel like I play Stardew Valley if I want to relax.
I know. I mean, I think
I play Civ 6 all the time. That's what I do to relax.
Just dominate the world.
Yeah, I love Civ 6.
Enemies.
It's like a board game, but it's like so
Civ 6.
That's awesome. My main game I play on. We both have Switches, and I play a lot of Civ 6.
Someone asked you, Nick, is it true you have a new number 1?
No, my number 1 has not moved in a little while now. It's been a couple of years, probably. My number 1.
Telling tales us out of school or whatever that phrase is.
Yeah, no, my number 1 is still viticulture. It's still my jam. My jam.
You know what game I've been playing lately that I really liked was Heaven and Ale.
Oh, really?
You guys ever played that?
Yeah,
yes.
you played it a couple more times than I have. I don't know. I think I need to play it again because I was very all right.
That game is.
I liked it, man. I
brutal.
liked it a lot. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way, but it's like you have to make some really tough decisions, and it's pretty tight. You know, trying to get onto both sides in the way you have to kind of move everything up. I played it probably 3 times, and I've been horrible at each time. Now there's like expansions. Have you just been doing base game or?
Yeah, base game.
Yeah, that's good. That's another. So we were talking about price point and stuff. That's one that's only held me back because every time I see it's like $75.
That game is
like
expensive, man. Yeah,
it is. I wouldn't pay $75.
No,
that's why
really
we have it.
expensive.
That might just be at the store, so we have.
I do not know why.
No, it's crazy.
But it is
a
pretty
good.
looking.
I like it. I am digging it. I thought it was a real clean design. It was interesting. I mean, it doesn't look exciting, but
but you know, it's. But honestly, like as much as we're talking about, I love overproduced games. We also love just like the driest bucket of sand Euros. Just no moisture.
I want
in there.
them to look.
We
nice,
do love
though.
them. I would love to say that I don't, but we do love them. Every time, I'm talking about a game that I can't stop thinking about this game and talk about just dry Euro, no theme, nothing. Is Crown of Amara?
Yeah, I can see it right.
Like I cannot stop thinking about Crown of Amara. I freaking love it, and that game is just nothing. It's nothing but mechanics. There's just that theme could have been anything, and it just oh my gosh! When I was reading it, I was like, oh, it just seems like such dry Euro-ness. Yes, I was just so excited when I was reading it. I was like,
sleepy as it reads.
I want to be the person who's like, no, I want like middies and all this flashy stuff, but in the end, you give me some like Trajan, I'm like, tastes so dry.
But Trajan
it's like eating 28 saltines without a drink, you know? just absolutely.
Even just hearing you describe it is making me thirsty.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's more about theme, right? Like those games still, like Crown of Mars is pretty in its way and stuff. Like it's
I think so too. Yeah, like, it's fine, but it's
it is dry. It's about nothing.
Yeah, it's about absolutely. But like Trajan's a game we really like, or Castle of Burgundy is one of our favorite games, and that game is just not pretty. Dry theme could be anything, and yet it's great. So it's like it really is. Like, if it's a good game, it's a good game. But if I can choose, I want it to be pretty. Why not? If you're making a game, why not make it look good?
Yeah,
I just don't get the concept of not doing that as a publisher. But I don't know.
Yeah, you got like Yamatai behind you, and like Yamatai's freaking
Jeremy Fleury.
Gorgeous.
Jeremy Fleury might be the best artist in the game.
Let's see. What do we got here? Somebody says, Z, is that a game on top of your shelf of your Calyx? If so, which one? I'm not familiar. What's up there? Well, that's Everdo. That's Everdo. Yeah, that's the slip cover for Everdo.
Yeah. Again, the game was like, hey, we know our art is bangarang, so we're gonna just put a sleeve that just shows you the art.
Yeah.
We're like, that's fair.
I don't think we still have the sleeve, but it is really cool. I like that. What else we got?
Someone asked an interesting question earlier. What was it? Oh, it said, what game or like what point did you realize that you were like deep in? Like what game made you realize you're like, oh man, I'm deep in the hobby? Like what point did you get to? I can't find the.
Let me see if I find it.
Yeah, if you can, you can pop it up. That's an interesting.
I'm just getting like. Look at this Kabuki kid just yapping. Kabuki's still getting in the way. Where's the question? Get out of here. Get out of here, nerd. A little while ago, somebody did say, it smells like nerds in here.
You're not wrong.
How dare you?
That sounds about right.
We've been better about. That was one thing that was cool at Aircon, man. They had a like, it wasn't Axe body spray, but that Axe body spray in the bathrooms just to remind folks, like, hey, freshen it on up while you're in here. And it was. I didn't notice anyone, and no one was offensive at the con, so that was nice.
It was, yeah. We just got back from Aircon in Harrogate in the UK, and it was great.
Jealous.
I don't see the question, man. So all right.
But either way,
when did you realize when you were like deep in?
You were deep in
because there's like a turning
point,
point,
what
right?
Game?
It's hard to like.
It probably came at some point along the way where I suddenly realized. You know how this is gonna sound like sappy, but you know how at some point you realize, like your mother or your father will say something, and you go, "That's not true," and you suddenly have that moment. The first time you ever have it, that realization of thinking to yourself, I know things that they think are, like I know things for a fact that they think are a different way, and it's not that way. I know what it is.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So you realize that you have that moment of like, I might, in some capacity and in certain aspects, be smarter than a parent. Whereas, before that, everything they say is what it is. Like, it's the truth, no matter what you get.
Yeah, right. Their word is law. Yeah.
So I think it was probably at some point where I knew something about a game that somebody else didn't know, and I was like,
that's interesting.
I guess I'm deep in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to measure it.
That's kind of a good point, because someone's asked us a couple times, like, someone's like, oh, have you heard of this game? We're like, oh, yeah, it's by this designer, and this is the general mechanics, and da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, so have you played it? And we're like, no.
Oh, no.
And someone's like, why do you know so much about a game you haven't played? And we were like, I don't know. It's just,
That's when you realize, because then at that point, you're just watching videos because you enjoy the hobby, whether or not you're partaking in a certain game. So, you're in or you're just on BGG and reading stuff. Once you, I think, know the news a little bit in certain games, you're like, oh, I haven't played it, but it sounds good.
I think for us, it was right around Christmas time. Yeah, because Mike and I's birthday are 3 weeks apart, and my birthday is the 21st of December. So we have my birthday, then Christmas, then Mike's birthday 3 weeks later. So we tend to...
our parents are efficient.
Yeah, our parents are very efficient. And so we tend to have a little bit extra money around that time because it's birthday, Christmas, and stuff. And so I remember one year we'd get games here kind of spattering. We had like one or two. And then at this point, I had started getting real deep into the hobby of like watching the Dice Tower, watching like Rahdo and like just discovering Board Game Geek.
He'd always be like, there's this guy Z.
There's this guy Z.
Really cool, man.
So handsome. I was like, cool, man. And he's like, okay,
I remember I still have the letters, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, they're framed on the other wall. And so we were like, hey, we have some extra money. Let's get some games. And we bought like 10 games, like one big haul of games. And we got them. That was, I think, when I was like, oh, man, we're in this.
That was
like,
a turning point for sure. We went hard. And most of those games we still have. We like most of them. And some of our favorite games were in that batch. We got like Viticulture, Dungeon Pets, Shakespeare. Some of our favorite games were like all in that one batch. Yeah. But that was when I think I was just like, oh man, we're screwed. Yeah, because in that moment we like tripled and it was still very small, but we tripled our whole collection in one go. And we're like, and then pretty much that whole year was a year of like pretty rapid buying.
Yeah, and then it's just
So it's like I don't think it's like I wish we had like a specific game that was like, oh, that's the turning point.
It wasn't a game.
Like
it's a purchase. That makes sense. A purchase.
Yeah. Right. It was more of a commitment to this like That's when you're getting into this as a hobby now.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I have a couple games on the shelf we pull out 3-4 times a year. It's like, oh no, this is sort of like the thing we do when we have free
people
time.
come to your house and they go, "Whoa, you have a lot of games," and you're like, "I don't." Compared to some people,
nerds in here.
Yeah, it sounds like nerds in here. There must be some nerds in the atmosphere. I said, "Oh we, oh we." Bring it
All
on.
right, I got a question
Dice,
for you
dice,
guys right
dice,
here.
dice.
This question is hard hitting stuff.
Oh gosh.
What is a unique beverage that you love? That's it. It's not hard hitting at all, guys.
Unique beverage. Okay, well,
Crystal
if like
Pisano needs to know.
Crystal Paisano.
a unique beverage that
Crystal
we
Paisano,
love. I
yeah.
had actually a follow-up question to this because I was thinking that over dinner. Are there any savory beverages
That aren't alcoholic.
That
Yeah.
are not alcoholic?
Yes.
like we don't, which makes sense. You want to be refreshed, but like, are there any savory?
we're thinking
like,
V8's like the closest.
yeah,
right?
This is salty, but
Because there are
there's
some
nothing else.
savory alcoholic drinks, but like non-alcoholic, what's a savory drink?
Anyway, put that
What
in
I
the
like
chat.
to do is I like to get a Vienna sausage and I dip it in that V8 carrot juice.
Ooh, there you go. And then just
Right.
swirl it. But you gotta poke a hole in it so you can use it as a straw.
I just use my powerful lungs to create the whole, and then that first gulp is mostly meat.
It's pretty salty.
It's got protein.
It's
It's
good
got
for
sodium.
It's definitely good for
It's
meal
good for
meal
you.
replacement.
Exactly.
Big time. Because
Screw those shakes that
it's a
they're slanging at Costco.
Well, I
just
know
to
for
clarify,
me-
you ate 3 sausages and blended up and drink. Yeah, it's like, all right.
I know
Yeah,
for
what
me, a
about you?
drink I like, a weird drink that I like is it's this Mexican soft drink. You guys
Okay.
probably know it. It's called jarritos.
Yeah, Jarritos,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, and they make that tamarind one.
Yeah, yeah, you would
Yes.
like Tamara. You would like that.
Dude, I like the
Ooh,
grapefruit.
that stuff is fire.
Yeah, Jarritos is good. Yeah, because we're in LA, so
Dude, Jarritos is
every store.
good, though. That's so good.
I'm trying to think of a unique drink I'm trying to think if there's anything weird that I like. You know what I love in a weird way? And
What do you mean in a weird way?
not
What
in
do
a
you do with
weird
this
way,
drink?
but it's like I like hot Jello.
Yes, you do.
I
we
do
used to
love
have
hot
when we were
Jello.
sick, huh?
Well, I used to because our grandmother used to give it
Could
to us
not have been good
when we
for
had
us.
sore throats specifically. You would drink you make Jello, you boil it, you boil the water,
forgot
put it in
about
the
this.
stuff, but instead of letting it like gelatinize, is that a word? Probably not.
Coagulate, you animal.
Coagulate. Before you let it coagulanize in the fridge, you would just drink it hot. And essentially, what I think it did is it just coated your throat and made it not sore for a while.
That
But
sounds
I
awful.
freaking love it. Like real talk, Dice Tower, hot lime Jello
Jello
is where it's
specifically. I
at,
wouldn't
baby.
recommend
That
any
is
other
where it's
lime
at.
Jello.
I would drink it if it was socially acceptable for me to put that in a sippy cup and walk down to Vaughn's. I would do it in a moment.
All right, this question's going away, man. That's it. This
It's
question
so
is
good.
going
My
away.
answer, Lassie's really good.
Lassie's
It's
great.
Moxie. There's a soda
Oh,
called
you
Moxie,
do like Moxie. You're
which is an
disgusting.
acquired taste, to say the least. It tastes like liquefied Necco wafers, but it's
It
good.
does, and it's so gross.
It's good, though.
Ugh.
It
Good
takes
question.
a while to get used to.
More questions like that.
All right, let's see. Yeah, let's see what we got. Some ridiculous stuff. Somebody said clamato is
A savory drink.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I guess, but that to me that falls under the V8 category.
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
It sounds
Tomato
awful
type juice is
anyway.
about as close as you get. Yeah.
I
which
by
is
the way,
delicious,
that's
I agree.
Horrible.
Yeah.
What do we got? Hot Jello equals Kool-Aid. Somebody said.
Nah, it's not the same. It's,
'Cause
you
it's
gotta
chunky.
try it.
It's got the. It's kind
Yeah,
of starting to
it's-
settle. So.
It's
Yeah.
slimy, if anything.
Oh,
It's so
disgusting.
good.
What is wrong with
It's
you?
so good. It's intense.
It takes your mind off your sore throat
It
because you're just
does.
trying to get through this drink.
because it takes the
Yeah,
flavor.
but I
of
only
Jell-O.
would have a sore throat because I've been screaming for an hour, refusing to drink warm, liquidy Jello.
No, it's got to be hot.
I've forgotten all about
Oh, it
that.
just got
It
a
is
thumbs
kind of-
down. All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
whoever
because
you
of
are,
Jell-O.
thanks for helping out the algorithm.
Yeah, it doesn't
Because that's all
matter.
that does, baby.
That's all engagement, man.
That's all
My
engagement.
stomach is protesting this discussion.
Bad comments, thumbs downs. All you're doing is helping us out. So thank you for the thumbs down. Appreciate
Lexum
you.
says, "Yeah, I drank that as a kid." So there
Yeah,
you go.
that's right, Lexum.
All right. I stand corrected. All right. What else you got, everybody? Hit us up with some questions.
Yeah.
Get after us.
I saw one.
What you got?
There's
So Kabuki Kid says, I'm a weirdo. I like next to zero hot drinks, only hot chocolate a handful of times a year. I have to agree. I don't drink hot drinks. I don't know how you guys are. You're having hot
This is
tea, I'm
Florida.
guessing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Maybe that's it, but I just...
I feel like you're
I
always
don't
hot.
like chocolate. much. I'm not a big chocolate person. So hot chocolate, it's like hot Jello on a gross, sweaty day.
You could mix some hot Jello into that.
That's disgusting.
Yes.
Like cherry
So I
Jello?
don't like that. I don't really like tea, hot tea anyway. The only thing I'll have warm, rarely, is coffee, and not even hot. It'll be like tepid. It's like starting to come down. So,
is that like a product of living in a hot environment? You think like sometimes people?
That's what I was like.
Warm-blooded. It's a product of my Cubanness, is what it is.
There you go. Understand. All right.
You provide the heat.
You
drink it
Jello
cold.
And I'm like,
it's your natural heat.
I look at that swirly Jello. I'm like, okay, I'm not drinking this. You have to let it coagulate, and then I eat it with a spoon, but there's a straw built in the handle, and so you can like scoop it. But every now and then you go, boom, you got a little bit.
That's nice. How fancy! You're fancy, man. Y'all got it made.
When I talk like this. All right, what do we got? Scott says, I can't eat ice cream in the winter, but I'm from Minnesota.
What? No, there's never too cold for ice cream. I don't care what anybody says.
It's literally never been too cold on Earth.
I could be
in
a snowstorm
in the throes of frostbite and like, well, if I'm going down with this rocky road right here. I don't like rocky
flavor, guys. Go favorite ice cream.
Mint chocolate chip. End of story. Next question.
I mean, I like cookies.
What about you, Rocky Road? Is that yours?
Yeah, no, it's not even. It's that's just how much I like ice cream. I would eat that on my deathbed, even though it's like my fifth favorite flavor. Probably like I like a really nice coffee ice cream.
You do.
Like Haagen-Dazs, where there's not like necessarily crazy stuff in it. It's just good flavor. Yes, sir. How about you, man?
I agree. I like my favorite ice cream flavor is rum raisin.
I've never had that, but I think it would be good. Raisin, is there actual chunks of raisin in ice cream?
There's actual raisins in it, yeah. Not chunks because they're too small to break up probably, but like whole raisins. That's good. It's really good, man.
I could
raisin. I don't know.
I could see.
I don't drink though.
There's like barely. I think the rum in it, once it's like cooked, I think there's no alcohol in it.
Giving. Yeah, they gotta be able to sell it to kids, man.
There isn't alcohol till it gets to my house.
That's right.
No,
and then
I add the missing flavor back in. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Green lime jello. And then I mix that up.
Just brings out the flavor of the raisin. And
melted green jello brings out the flavor in anything.
It does. Gosh, it's so good.
Nathan just had a question.
Jello is better in cubes. We talk about that, right?
I agree with that. It's easier. You just kind of
drop the jello, man.
You're the one who keeps bringing it up, not us.
Lose people, man.
All right, what's the good question there? What do we see?
It was best game to play while eating.
Blammo.
And also, I'm just curious what you feel about eating while playing games. Do you like don't do that? Let's do one thing then the other, or are you particular and protective of your games, or are you like whatever?
I am to a degree, yeah.
Sure.
It depends who I'm playing with, I think. Like if it's someone who wouldn't understand their intrinsic value of the game.
Yeah.
And I do mean that literally because a lot of people they don't know games. So any game you put in front of them, they assume is like a Monopoly, which I can replace for like $10.
Yeah,
so they don't have a sense that this thing that I'm bringing out is actually rare, is actually expensive, right? They just don't have that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they have no idea.
So if it's those folks who just wouldn't have any idea, then I might be a little more careful just because I'd be worried they just wouldn't care. Which I get,
Sure.
A $10 game, you go and buy one at the drugstore at the corner, I get it. So I would be careful with that. If it's people that are gamers, even a little bit, I don't worry about it too much. That's snacks is fine. It's fine to have a little something. I'm not gonna sit there and let you eat barbecue, But
yeah, totally.
How about a nice lasagna?
That's good.
I think that's what it is. I think it's about what you're getting into and stuff. And sometimes it's just easier. If you're going to have like a meal, for example, versus snacks. I think it's the difference between snacks and eating. It's like it's going to slow down the game. You might as well just eat and then come back to the game.
Agree.
Yeah,
but best game while eating. I don't know.
Well, I would say excluding party games because a lot of party games you don't need to touch stuff as much, and so like that helps. Other than that, I would say something no cards, so like no deck builder where you have like cards in your hand like that. Other than that, I mean, I don't know any. Castle Burgundy?
Sushi.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'd say any game that's not like a deck builder where you have a ton of cards in your hand.
Sure.
Or just play a party game if you
play
really want
sushi
to
roll,
eat.
dude.
Sushi roll.
And you can play for keeps, and you get to eat real sushi. If you win it, you get the sashimi. If you
At the
earn the
sushi place.
sashimi.
God, that's a great idea.
Oh, that'd be good.
That's a good idea.
I don't know.
For me, favorite game to eat to play while eating, probably something like you said with few bids. I might play Hive or something. That's a And those pieces are plastic. That's a matter. You could actually spill barbecue sauce on those, and I won't.
Yeah, and you just wash them off. Who cares?
Yeah, that's a good point. Something like that, and that's also pretty. It's just there's not a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Hive is the official answer.
We do have a super chat over here from Brian Whipple who said,
"Whoa,
butter pecan is the correct answer. Really love you guys. That's for you fellas."
All right,
butter pecan. I was thinking
Brian Whipple,
raisin.
thanks for the $5 of the Dice Tower.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking
so
about
I have
that.
A question: pecan, pecan. Which one?
It's pecan. I don't care what anybody says. Pecan. What are we, peacocks?
Pecan. I would say pecan. I would say like pecan pie.
Yeah,
but pecan pie is more fun, and
it is more
want to
fun.
be that person.
That's me.
You can be that person.
I do say pecan.
Yeah, I'm pecan.
That's
Pecan's just like.
Are you crayon or crayon?
Oh,
crayon.
No, it's crayon.
Crayons.
Okay,
crayons.
You guys don't know how to speak. Got it.
No, it's crayons. CRANS. Crayons.
That's classic Cali lazy speech. Crayon
really
is a lot of mouth.
We always give so much. People give so much crap because we say crayons instead of crayon. We always say crayons. KRANS.
I mean, crayons. I don't slow it down that much. I don't say, "Hey, you want a color? You want your little crayons, Timmy?" I don't say that, but crayons.
Crayons. Yeah.
You say crayons.
We're saying the same thing.
Crayons.
No, I'm speaking correctly.
Yeah. Crayons and pecans.
Animals.
Animals.
All right, let's see. What do we got?
Daniel asks, what game did you play to the point that it started wearing out?
Ooh, that's a little bit. Just a little ways back. See if you want to find it.
From Daniel Hinsbond.
All right, I'll find it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's probably a number of games at this point.
Yeah, that's something that I've just in general realized. Like, you get to the point. I played. I think I'll get back to. I played Azul out for sure. The first one. That's why I was so quick to get the second.
Plastic pieces? You wore out the plastic pieces?
No, they're not talking about the.
I meant
wears
out.
No.
Oh, like wore the game out. I meant like I wore out my. I don't need to play it
heart.
No, like the actual production.
Oh, we cracked the pandemic cards in half, like the by ripple shuffling. So they're in sleeves now, so it's not a problem. But they're literally just like there was a line.
Permanent.
It would take just this much to separate the cards in half.
It's like a lot of people right now out there just screaming at the idea that you guys riffle shuffle so
riffle
much
shuffle
that
for
you
life.
Split them down.
Riffle shuffle for life.
I riffle shuffle too, but I've never broken cards down the middle.
Well, it's because we played it. We played it so much.
Yeah, like this.
This is lemonade, by the way. Somebody asked. It's not Fresca. It's lemonade. Though Fresca is the bomb.com.
It is very refreshing. Hence Fresca.
All right, let me think. What game did I play to the point that it started wearing out? I probably would have to say the original Blue Moon.
Yeah, I know you love that.
Those big cards, and they were not like linen finished or anything. They were good quality cards, but they were big, so they get kind of like flopped around a lot when I shuffle them. And they started to show a little bit of wear, but
games hold up pretty well though.
I'm pretty careful with games anyway, so.
Yeah, we try to be. We try to.
Clearly, you're failing.
With pandemic, that's one of our first games ever. We didn't know any better back then. You know, we want to get a nice impressive bend on us. You really gotta give it a little something extra.
You gotta feel real good on it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about that, like newer, like just the reality is you don't play a game all that often because it's in a rotation of other things. So they hold up pretty good.
We don't wear out that many games too often. We if it's something like if someone asked earlier to sleeve or not to sleeve, we don't sleeve our games. Unless they get to the point where like pandemic is sleeved because those cards are like just getting destroyed. So we're just like, okay, we'll just
sleeve like legendary for the same reason.
If deck builders will sleeve sometimes. So legendary would have gotten worn out a long time ago because we've played it hundreds of times, and so like, but not too many, honestly.
Yeah, I like.
What do you guys think? I had a question here. You mentioned Mike about games being in rotation a lot. Like you grab a new game, you play it once, twice, put it away. Maybe it comes out in a year again.
Yeah.
There's this weird sort of duality to that, where that's becoming true, what you're saying and what I'm saying, and also this fascination with a game being balanced. Do you really think a game, do you guys, either one of you, and you folks out there too, do you think a game needs to be supremely balanced in this day and age, where a game might get played a few times and then you stop thinking about it, stop analyzing it, kind of put it away, and come back to it with a fresh mind anyway? How do you feel about that?
It's like...
What's going on?
No.
We're getting slowed down.
You don't think it needs to be balanced?
Slow down.
I mean, no, I don't know. That's a hard one because I think it kind of depends on how many games you have or how many games you buy. Because Z, you're probably the same way. It's like and by nature, this part of this is because it's our job to do stuff about games. Like, it's hard for us to get games played a lot, and so, like, one thing that we constantly discuss, like, variability in games, and like, is the game going to be different enough each time for us to want to play it? But then we go like, yeah, but we're not going to play this game that often, so it being different every single time is not nearly as big a deal.
We even remember.
Yeah, so like, for me personally, not really.
Yeah,
like, I want it to be balanced, but like, I don't think it's that huge a deal unless you are going to play that game in and out, and the vast majority of people won't, because they're going to end up playing other stuff.
Yeah, and I guess like the flip side to that is you want a game to be balanced so that you can and will play it a bunch of times in a row. But yeah, I guess
it feels fair. I mean, at the end of the day,
it
feels fair, but
yeah,
I think the problem is now with the internet, you don't get away with your game not, like, if your game has a dominant strategy, it will be dissected. It will get torn apart, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if your game didn't even sell how much you expected it to,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think it is. I think it's important. I think it's more about, like, I don't worry so much about variability within reason. Like, I need it to feel that. We were talking about, like, Rajas of the Ganges recently, because the game sort of plays out in a similar way, just because, like, the same tiles are in the game every time, but we don't play it often enough that I'm like, oh man, this is killing me. I'm like, we play it once or twice a year, who cares? But
yeah,
maybe we would play it more if it did different stuff, or I want there to be more stuff. So
yeah, and it's like, that's one thing that like we've kind of had to realize. We don't really back anything on Kickstarter nowadays, but we used to be much bigger Kickstarter people, and like, we like Zombicide a lot, and Cool When You're Not games in general give you a bunch of extra stuff, and we realized like, after a while, we're like, we will never play with even a fifth of all this, because, not to mention, that is I want a game to have that much extra stuff for it to be like a 10-minute game. We might actually play through all of that.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, with something like that, with these massive games that have so much of this extra stuff, it's like, you'll never play with it all.
Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of a similar concept where it's like,
at that point.
Yeah, it's like, it being meticulously perfectly balanced isn't as big a deal, because we won't play it enough to really notice or care. But I don't know.
But somebody will, and they will publicize that, and
yes,
so it's
exactly
bad, right? It's just bad anyway. All right, I got a quick, simple question here. I'm throwing it up. Favorite player count?
3.
Just in general.
3.
2 or 3, yeah.
Okay, fine. My answer's 3 too. That was.
It's kind of the magic number, right? Especially if you're thinking of like a 2 to 4 player game. A lot of them play great at 2.
The game
usually
moves quicker.
A game they can play at 4. It's like, I'd probably rather play at 3 to keep it snappier.
There's more than one person that you're going against, but there's not so many that it slows the game down. 3 tends to move quicker.
3 is just good.
I agree. I want to give another shout out to Brian Whipple. He's just lighting
Brian
us
Whipple.
I appreciate that very much, Brian. Thank you.
Appreciate the super chat, Brian.
Right here. Question. What game would you like to make life-size?
We literally have had. We plan on doing this, actually.
All right, so we'll spoil TM, everybody.
TM.
We're gonna make this
trademark.
We're gonna someday. We're thinking, like, it'd be really fun to play Flick 'em Up, but with like frisbees and you can create, because like in the game, like everything's kind of like a little storefront, but it's just a flat,
it's a facade.
Right?
It's
it's a facade.
It's a stage facade. Yeah.
So you can make that, and you play in a big park, and you're the cowboy.
Sorry, facade. Sorry, facade with your pecan pies and your facades.
But I think it'd be really fun to kind of play as, kind of like you are the Cowboys, and you're trying to, you have to throw your frisbee. Right. Yeah, wherever it lands, that's where you get to run to.
You have a big disc, that's your movement disc, and you have little small discs that are little bullets
or something.
Just like the name.
We've researched like soft ones, like dog frisbee.
Yeah, and you play in like a football field. Yeah.
I think that would be super fun to do.
Yeah.
You need the space, though.
Whenever you guys are doing this, I'm there.
We actually have had plans. We've sketched out like schematics and stuff, like how I want to do it. This has actually been a plan of ours for a long time, is make these giant life-size versions of games.
Yeah.
So for us, it's flick them up, because we actually have plans to do that.
Cool.
I'd also,
I'm like stealing that now. So
TM.
Hey, just whoever makes it first, the other one goes over, so we can all play together. That's the point.
Yeah, we'll have a race.
I think that would be so fun.
I think it'd be,
especially really like at a convention or something that people could play. I think it would be so cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
We'll see. Man, I don't know. Game that I want to make life size. I don't know. I think the only game I just mentioned a while ago, but that would actually be smaller life size. Well, not the only one, but that one that comes to mind is Hive. I was talking about Hive. How it would be. It would actually be smaller in the real world. I guess any game about ants fighting and whatever. I don't know. Game I want to make for real in real life. What do I have behind me? I'll just
pick something pretty. Atlantis Rising, that'd be cool. Just have Atlantis be real.
Have a big pool so you can flood actual lands and stuff. We want to do like crazy coconuts. You get some thing, you launch footballs like 100 feet in the air into trash cans.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
That would be so much fun.
That's actually an awesome
so sweet.
Answer.
Yeah. I think we can make it. I don't know. It's like get some resistant fans and just
you can make you make the monkey out of paper mache, and then you get the arms that can articulate, so it goes like that. Yeah. We want to make. We've been planning on. We have many of these ideas, as you can see. I think we've been planning on making like an 8-foot tall Volcar from Fireball Island that you can launch water balloons out of. Yeah,
like on a hot summer day.
You get some big red water balloons like fireballs. You just start. So we have TM.
One of these days, I mean, I guess we kind of have the time on our hands right now. So we
I know, right? Might as well
start
building at this point.
These projects. We'll just super build.
That's good stuff. What do we got? Fling them up. Some Crystal says fling them up instead of flick them up. Yeah.
Oh, where does he say
fling them up? Frizz them up.
Frizz them up is what we're going to call them
up. Is good. Yeah.
Fling is good. Fling is closer to flick, I'd imagine. So.
All right. Here's a good question from my good buddy Luke Pryor. How you doing?
Hey, Luke.
See you, man. All right. So
it was good to meet you, brother.
Oh, you guys got to meet him?
Yeah, and Ericon. That was great.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him a lot.
What's doing that?
All right. So the question is, does hype make you more eager about a game or put you off it? What do you think? I mean, just like the game not being anything specific right now, just game X. There's a lot of hype building. The game is coming. Do you feel a little put off by it? Or do you feel like, okay, yes, it must be something because everybody's talking about. Where do you land in that?
I like to get excited by it. I think I'm an optimist at heart, so it's like if there's this hype and things are exciting, you see images of stuff coming out. It's fun. It's more fun to get wrapped up in that. I don't like necessarily let it drive me to like purchase without knowing anything. But when something gets hype, like I'll get my own hype going about some expansion or something. Maybe it's like for an expansion that's for this thing coming out, I'll get stoked on it because there's some known quality there. I'm not one to just become instantly like suspicious.
No, well, I'm the same way. I like hype. I think hype is fine. Also, I think what it does is like what people like when a game that's hyped like doesn't pan out, they seem to take it very like personally, almost like, and people get very, very serious like when a game is like overhyped or like. I just don't see it's a big deal. There's been games that have been hyped up or I've just like hyped up in my own mind that I was so excited for, and I didn't play it, and I was kind of like, oh, that wasn't as good as I thought it was. That sucks, and that was it. Like I don't know, so I just don't take it that seriously. I guess but so to me, it's like I like hype. I like getting excited about it. I don't get suspicious. I'm just kind of like, yeah, cool. Yeah. If it's not as good as I thought, whatever.
For me, it's two things. There's one specific thing that will have me jump right into the hype, and there's one thing that will immediately turn me off of the hype, and I'll be like, I got immediately suspicious. And so the one thing that makes me jump in is artwork. If those folks, people are talking about this game, it's a great game, this and that, and I start seeing images rolling out and they look good, I'm like, ooh, I want to know more.
Yeah,
I'm in this. Fair. You know, I'm very visual that way. If the game is starting to look good, they're showing pieces, they're showing artwork, even concept art. I'm like, I'm there. Yeah. And the other thing that turns me off is either the company, especially the company, but really anybody starting to say like, this game has something you haven't seen in gaming before, and I'm like, no. That's highly doubtful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fair, and also
immediately makes me suspicious of the game. And again, if the company are the ones saying it, I'm really suspicious. You know, so
yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's when it's like the hype is being driven by the company specifically, it's a little harder to buy into versus like if people around you, especially if there's people who are like, oh, our opinions usually align on a game. If they're getting excited by stuff, I'll get wrapped up by that. But I agree. If you see like art and stuff, then you're actually seeing real things.
I'd say for me, it's theme is the thing that makes me hype for a game even more. If it's got a weird theme or a theme that I'm interested in, I'm with it.
Yeah, sure. And that comes down to like art and stuff, doesn't it? So. Yeah. The whole like we're gonna blow your mind with it. It's like maybe you will, but just
never seen this before.
It's enough to say that like we have this really good game, we're really excited about it, and be like excited by your thing versus saying like you're not even ready for what's coming.
Like, I have kind of a. It's not necessarily like. I guess it's kind of related to that, and y'all can answer this. Do you think a game needs to do something new? Because that's like this game has something you've never seen before, and you're kind of like, it probably does. You know, it's like, do you think that a game?
Are you saying it probably does or probably doesn't?
It probably does not have something.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I don't need a game to have something new. That's like listening to a new song and being like, man, you know what? This song uses notes that no song has used before. I don't need that. I need a different, combination of those notes. And that arrangement, right? That's it. A game can be non-original. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
If the stew is really good, if it pulls me in, it makes me interested. It gives me a place in which I want to live for a little bit. The choices are engaging. They pull me this way and that. I feel on my turn, like I feel before it's my turn that I really want to go because I want someone to not take what I want. All those things have nothing to do really with mechanisms that are original.
Yeah, I totally
don't care. I mean, a game that is original is neat and impressive.
Oh, it's always nice. Yeah,
I'm impressed by that. But do I need it? Not at all.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. I prefer a game that just executes really well.
Yeah.
It's like you're talking about the stew. Like some of the best foods on earth are not because they have this rare ingredient from some mountain that you've never heard. It's like, no, it's just
green jello.
Green jello is the best.
Green jello.
Baby, let me tell you about that jello now. You gonna drink that jello because it's melting now. Let me get that jello.
Get that jello, get it hot, drink it immediately. You're welcome. Pretty much. No, but it's like it's just well executed. Hot green jello.
I think it's totally fine.
If a game is hot green jello, I'm in.
You do something that's already been done. You just do it really well.
Yeah.
Great. I think that's awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
some people are always like, you have to bring something new. I don't think you do at all.
Yeah, we had a chance to meet Bruno Catala, who I know we all like.
Praise be.
And
who?
I think I like. He's like this indie guy, he's up and coming. I appreciate. He was just like, I don't care if I've used this mechanic before, if this is like a really familiar thing. I just want to create a fun gaming experience. Like that's literally all that matters.
He's like, I don't care about if the theme has been used for. I don't care about the mechanics. None of that matters to me. All I care about is,
are you having fun?
Was it a fun experience? And I was like, that's an interesting way of kind of going about that. It's like he's not trying to do anything new ever. He just is trying to make a fun game. And I'm like, that's actually probably the way you should be doing it.
Yeah. So all right, just execute well. That's what matters.
All right, what do we got here? Somebody wanted to know how many games. Sil Walters wants to know how many games do you own in your personal collection?
That many.
We are the wall behind us. We have like a little under 300 probably.
Yeah, it's like 250 to 300.
So we're out of space.
Addicted.
I know, man.
We are full at capacity though.
There's a lot of games. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
I own like, I don't know, 400 and something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy right here.
I think it's good to have a
We
space
probably would if
restriction.
we had the space.
Yeah, we are at full capacity because the rooms are. We're in our studio right now, and like this is our games. They're not anywhere else,
That's
and
the
so
space that
like we got a 1 in 1 out policy.
Yeah,
at
are
this
you the
point.
same way? Are you like at capacity, Z? Do you like keep it pretty? Do you feel? Is it like? Are you like a liquid? You fill the space you got?
No, I'd like to set artificial limits for myself, actually.
Oh, I like
I
that.
think it helps me just to not...
To snatch up.
I need the, like, for example, all my games are in, or were, now there's some stuff here behind me, but anyway, like, I'd like to limit my space. I might have other space in my abode, but I like to set limits for myself. Like, this is the room they go in. That's it. Like, if they don't fit in here, or in an organized manner, because I don't want it to be messy either, then it's out.
Yeah.
You know, I just set those like artificial limitations for myself because it helps me just force myself to let some things go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've kind of we're beholden to space, but like Nick, lives elsewhere, and he could take more games with him there. But we've kind of done the same thing of like, no, if you probably have something you're not playing, and if you're not playing it, like take it out and address it. Like, do I want to keep this? And if so, well then get it to the table and play it, or get rid of it. Like gift it to somebody, give it to a friend. Send it to
take it to a thrift store. Yeah,
yeah. We sent some stuff to like the Boys and Girls Club, so like kids have more access to games.
Yeah.
It's like, don't just keep accumulating, because we'll fill this whole house and then we won't be able to like eat.
Yeah, I think having a size limit is good.
Yeah,
It's good.
plus the idea of being able to shut the door on it and put it away is nice.
You can only play so many games.
Yeah,
I want to play them all.
That's true too. You know, at the end of the day, you can't read every book, you can't watch every movie, and you can't own every game. You just can't.
Yeah, with the amount that come out nowadays,
you have to come to terms with that. You really do, especially in this country where we have access to so much. You know.
Yes.
And it is so easy to get more stuff, right? Like, to me, the idea, like, as a little Cuban boy, the idea of like spring cleaning baffles me. You know what I mean? The idea of like, so hold on, from a year ago to now, you've considered, purchased, and gotten over enough stuff that you have to dedicate a soft holiday to cleaning your crap out?
Yeah, and get rid of it, right?
That's a lot of stuff, so...
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole the storage unit industry is like is such an odd concept when you really think about it. This just holds a bunch of stuff that you don't use. And again, like there's a lot of uses for storage units. People put like stuff there they can't use, or it's too big to hold their home. But it's just like a lot of it. It's just a lot of people have storage units just full of stuff they don't need.
Like our buddy was
use.
keeping a whole mess of wicker furniture for years. And I'm like, why? It's just wicker furniture. What are you doing, man? It's like, well, it's nice wicker. And I'm like, there's no such thing as nice wicker. It's wicker furniture. Like, get rid of it, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not going to use that.
Yeah, and if you have a storage...
It's hard,
like,
The problem is
tough.
you see something that normally, they say anyway, normally costs, $40, and they're selling it to you for 18, and you're like, oh, no, if I don't buy it, I'm like, I'm leaving like a great deal behind. It's like, if you don't need it, what you're actually doing is spending $18. That's actually what you're doing, But
and they get us on that like, I'm actually saving money. I'm making money on this deal.
Yeah,
like, no, you're still spending money, just not as much as you could.
I'm making money. You're sure not. You're
still money out the door.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm not knocking it at all. Believe me, consumerism, all that stuff. I get it.
We
but
got our own issues with consumerism. Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. All right, I got another good question here from Luke.
What you got?
He's on fire tonight.
Luke,
getting after it.
All right, so he's saying here, what's your favorite, spelled the British way, by the way, what's your favorite gimmick in a game? And I'm going to add, what's your least favorite gimmick in a game that you can think of? I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some time to think about it. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine.
You do yours.
For me, my least favorite immediately came to me when I read the question, and that is games which have a dexterity component in a non-dexterity game.
Yeah.
No. Bad.
No.
I hate that. This is a cooperative game in which you are killing zombies. You're rolling dice, you're drawing cards, you're doing all the stuff as normally you would in any other game. But How do you know if the zombies respawn? Well, you put a card on the table and you drop a cube on it from about 5 inches high. And if the cube stays on the card, you're good. If the cube spills off, the zombie respawns. No, I hate you so much.
I think that's fair.
No, I hate a bit of a game that clearly is just there because the designer wants to be like, hey. No. That's equivalent to me. That's equivalent to having to say Uno in Uno or having to shout something dumb in a dumb game. Ugh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's fair. I honestly don't know like what gimmick I like.
You talk about like this.
For me, like a gimmick.
What's a gimmicky game?
I don't dislike gimmicks if they make sense. Like an example I always give is like Chimera Station. I really like the game Chimera Station a lot, and because you're building your workers, and that is like a gimmick ultimately, but it makes sense for the game, and it's actually part of the game. Like it's not just a gimmick that's there, that's just kind of like, oh, like the big tree in Everdell, for example. It's like, it's just a big tree. There's no need for that giant tree. It holds your meeples. Like, that's really all it does. It's like, that's a gimmick that's completely unnecessary. It's just there to look pretty. And it does look very pretty, to be fair. But, like, I like gimmicks that make sense. Like Potion Explosion. It's like, it's kind of a gimmick with the marbles and stuff like that. But it's cool and it makes sense in that game. And so, like, I like gimmicks that make sense. In terms of, like, gimmicks I hate having to yell stuff. I hate arbitrary first player like stipulations. I really, really hate them. But it's not like a gimmick, really. I don't know. I don't gimmicks that like I absolutely hate.
Ecos, if I have a card, I'm just gonna be like, I have a card to do.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't need like any game that like comes with some sort of thing that makes a dice tower.
You do like that, you're saying?
Nah, not really. No. I just end up not using them.
No, I like rolling dice.
I agree with that.
I hate. No offense to the dice tower.
No, but that's the only dice tower.
That's the only dice tower.
Dice towers are overrated.
Yes, dice towers are horrible. I'm like, sorry. The dice tower is great. Tom is wrong. Exactly. The dice tower with a capital T. Is different. Dice towers are so unnecessary. I'm sorry. I don't get the point.
I just don't need it.
Roll dice.
That's not even like really a good.
I like the tactile nature.
I agree, man. I like
of
rolling
shaking
dice.
them and rolling them.
I don't like. It's not necessarily a gimmick thing.
Is
but
it
I don't
fun
like
to
when
me?
games necessarily like put in like you can't talk strategy in a co-op game when it doesn't really make sense. Like in the Dresden Files card game.
A game where you can't talk.
I'm like, it doesn't serve a
game where you can't talk and it's only there to make it harder. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. There's a bunch of good ones in the comments. Somebody said Potion Explosion gimmicks awesome. Somebody said, how about when they try to be funny in the rule book? I don't like that.
I love that. I love it.
It depends.
Just
I don't
give
mind
me the
being
rules.
entertained.
If your game is funny, then let your game be funny. If your rule book's funny, go write short stories. Don't be a game designer. You know what I mean? I don't need your rule book to be funny.
I like it.
Somebody said favorite gimmick catapults and cannons and stuff, like little, like actually spring-loaded kind of stuff. Kabuki Kid said Zokin's gimmick, and I agree. I haven't played Zokin, but I think my favorite type of gimmicks is probably like stuff that moves and what shows through now or what's hidden now is important. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, especially because like in Zulkin and stuff, the gears turning serves a vital function.
It's kind of like Chimera Station. It makes sense for the game. It serves a purpose.
That can go from like cheeky to very cool really quick. Yeah.
What else?
Trying to think of other. I don't know.
There's a good question right here.
I'll
bring this up.
What you got?
Question is from Solo Play Gamer. Okay. Question is, why do games, and this is obviously, I'm assuming slightly tongue-in-cheek, but question is, why do games with minis make the game so much better? It's a little bit of a leading question. Do you guys think games with minis are better? Is it better to have a mini than a standee? Is a standee better than a disc? Is a disc better than a cube? Where would you rank those things?
I do fall for the thing of like if you have standees already, I'd like a mini.
Yeah.
Because you already have a 3D element.
Yeah.
But you have a 3D element that's very two-dimensional. And I'm like, why go off the board if only to not? You know, so
that's fair.
That's one, but I don't
so
mind.
Much cheaper. I mean, obviously.
Well, that's why it's because
it's
cheaper,
cheap, right? But that's the problem. It's like a standee feels cheap to me.
I agree. I think a standee feels cheaper than like a chunky wooden disc with a sticker. Feels less cheap than a cardboard standee. I
totally agree. I totally agree.
I don't think that's how it is, but I feel like I got shorted somehow. I'd rather have a really nice disc or some sort of marker that moves around than a standee. It's like either go mini or go flat. Go big or go flat. Like
go big or go
home, bro. Yeah, dude. You know, and I don't mind minis in games. I don't know. I don't know if I need them. Like I probably have gotten into the point where now if it's like a Euro game and there's like just giant maze, I'm like, why are these here?
I like them,
but like we've definitely crossed that point now where a lot of games where you have a miniature. Like actually, there's one at work now for what is it, Reich Busters? I think it is. It just came out and it's like there's one box among the several expansions which has a mini. And I feel bad saying mini because it's this monstrosity of plastic, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? It's cool. It looks cool. Like if I want to decorate with it, I'll put it over there next to. You see my Thanos over there? Hey, he's chilling right there. Thanos, where you at?
Hey, little nice smile. Funko Pop, bam.
Oh man.
But at the end of the day, it's just like decoration, sure, but is it going to be functional? I mean, at some point, you're just showing off, man. You're just going crazy with the plastic. But I do like minis. I have no problem with minis. I also don't care about minis being painted. Maybe I'm in the minority there, but I
think it's fine.
I'm good. Yeah. I mean, the mini, I think the 3D nature takes over for a painted flat surface. You know what I mean? It's a trade-off. I just don't think it'll ever look as good painted as the illustration does. At least I haven't. I don't have that skill. I don't know anybody who does. And I'm not saying there aren't a lot of talented painters. I'm just saying when that mini is done, I look at it and I go, this is great. This is clearly really well done. I don't necessarily want this for me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like the artwork. Not really. It's not a one-to-one. I'm a stickler for that. Just like when we're talking about the upgrade bits, and there's all those like, oh, this is the upgraded bread, and this is the upgraded, I don't know, dental floss, whatever. And I don't care for those things usually because they don't match the little illustrations all over the board. You know, the bread, cardboard bread matches the one on the board exactly. It's like one-to-one. Your bread looks like a little loaf of actual 3D bread, and now my brain has to go like that one mini extra step to go, okay, this is that thing.
That's interesting.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I like minis. I would say if I had to choose minis or not, I would choose minis for the most part. I don't like standees. I would say I'd rather have a disc than standees. I like minis. And I am someone who paints minis, and I don't mind if they're not painted. It doesn't really bother. We have tons of games that aren't painted. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
The reason I like minis is because board games, to me, on top of being a mental thing and a social thing, are a visual thing. Mm-hmm. This is why I like pretty games. So to me, minis are more interesting and more visually appealing than a disc. So if I could choose, I would like minis because I think they make it look better visually. So because one thing I love in board games is like when it's not my turn, I'm just like looking at the boards, looking at the cards, looking at the art. And so if there's like minis, I'll pick it up and like kind of look at it and stuff. And like I like that part of board gaming a lot. So to me, minis just enhances that part of board gaming, and so I would rather have them. Again, like this mini that I'm painting for Abyss is literally, this could be just one disc. It doesn't even need art on it. It could just be like it could have an L on it for Leviathan, and that would be fine. But it's like they made a mini, and I'm like, cool, thanks. Like I like that, and so I personally like minis a lot. But that's my personal opinion.
I think I agree. It's minis, disc with artwork or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. The standees are they feel cheap,
Yeah.
All right.
Someone said they don't mind him in Horrified. I agree with that, I guess. Like, that's okay. Because you get the
Also-
little cool monster minis.
That's true, and they look good there. I also
I don't know why that one gets a pass.
I played the Yggdrasil Chronicles game, and they have to be
Oh, okay.
standees in that game because they actually are
Yeah.
functionally. They need to be standees. You're supposed to put something on the standee.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there it makes sense. You just have to live with it because it's part, it's part for the course in that game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys,
interesting.
we're drawing to a close here.
Boo!
This has been a lot of fun yapping with you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
It's been awesome.
Let's see, what do we end up on here? What do we got? A good wrap it up kind of question. What do we got?
Well, sleeves or no sleeves?
Yeah,
If you like
let's-
sleeves, what's your favorite type?
Let's go with that. Why not? We're gonna
Yeah.
wrap up talking about sleeves. Aaron
We,
Clark, thank you, Aaron,
thank you,
and
Aaron
thank
Clark.
you everybody. Really,
Yes, thank you.
for hanging out
We
with us. We
offered 300 people.
appreciate it. And thanks to these two clowns over here to hang out with me. I appreciate
Hey,
you guys.
thanks for having us, man. This has been
This is
awesome. It's
awesome,
fun just to
yes.
hang and chat with you, as always. We started off never sleeving, and then we got into a phase where we sleeved
We got
a
sleeve
lot,
happy. Yeah.
like everything, and now we've going
de-sleeved
back.
everything again. We play a game where we're like, we don't need sleeves.
No,
We take the
dude.
sleeves out now.
because we don't have like super high quality sleeves or anything anyway.
Is it Mayday?
But we're also more careful.
Is
with our
Mayday
games. We don't crack them in half anymore.
Mayday, I think it's
Most of
the sleeve company. Mayday green penny sleeves, the only sleeves in the world worth having. Fight me.
Green penny sleeves. All
I
right.
like penny sleeves. I hate thick sleeves. I do not want my deck of cards to become this with the sleeves in it. I can't shuffle it anymore.
What,
The
3
really
times as thick now?
sleeves have really sharp corners. It hurts my beautiful, delicate hands. I don't like
that's
it.
an artist's hands.
Like, no, I want penny sleeves. I want them to be as thin as humanly possible so that I can mash shuffle them as quickly as possible. Because here's the thing, like, will they wear out quicker? Who cares? They're penny sleeves. Just
Because
slop in a
nothing,
new
man.
sleeve. It's no problem.
No, I disagree
Oh, no.
wholeheartedly, man.
Everyone is wrong.
I think
gotta have
penny
to get
sleeves are
the best.
incredibly difficult to shuffle. They
No, they're so
crinkle.
easy.
They all crinkle.
They do
like
crinkle.
No,
Oh,
not
they're
Mayday green
horrible.
penny sleeves. Not Mayday green penny
man,
sleeves.
I don't care if they're
You got stock
green
in them?
penny sleeves.
I
I
got-
don't care if
I
they're
got
blue
stock
penny
in that
sleeves.
green penny
they
sleeves.
do not
No.
shuffle well. Have you tried riffle shuffling a deck of penny sleeves?
I don't riffle shuffle sleeved cards. I mash shuffle them, and they work perfectly every time. Bam, smooth like glass, butter. Boom, 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 all day.
I disagree
I do
so
crinkle
much.
and they
I
do
think
crinkle.
penny sleeves just
Ugh.
you can
Oh, you
they
disgust me.
make me think of like this kind of stuff, like
Yeah,
you know
it's
where
great.
like I can never unwrinkle parts of this again. Like no matter how much I try.
What
That's
do you do
penny
to your
sleeves.
games?
Yeah,
Are you in
iron
the middle
your
of
cards.
a hurricane while you're playing? I don't understand.
Yes, fool, it's Florida.
It's Florida, baby.
He's thinking of survival.
That's the only time I play games for fun. That's it. It's like, inclement
That's
weather
it.
coming. Bust out azul,
Nah.
baby.
thick
You
sleeves
sleeve
are
your
the
tiles.
worst. Oh, I hate
I
them.
think most people are saying that are agreeing with me here, guys.
Oh, 100%. I'm super the minority. I know that.
Penny
Yeah,
sleeves are
no.
awful to shuffle, says Chris. I can't handle thin, cheap sleeves, says All Aboard Gamer.
Give me the
let's
thinnest,
see, what
cheapest
else?
sleeves.
I'm gonna distance myself. That's Nick's
Somebody
opinion. That's not mine.
says,
No. All
sleeve
day.
your sleeves, says Nick Wagner.
Also, you know what I hate is when sleeves aren't like they're so thick, they're not like clear anymore. So like the card.
Okay, sure. I'll give you
Gosh,
that.
I hate that, man.
That's
I want to be
Are
able
you
to see
sure
the
they're
card.
not on backwards? Sometimes one side is colored.
Yeah.
He's like, all my cards are
No,
like
that's true. Also,
fake white, man.
sleeves with one side colored. Get out of here.
You don't like that?
No.
Oh man.
Don't.
Let's agree to agree that I'm correct.
I
Yeah.
want to see the back. The back's got art. I want to see the card back.
I agree.
That's
I
just-
like.
just me.
No, I'm sorry. Green Mayday penny sleeves the best. Get out of here with all the rest.
But we don't
All
even
right.
sleeve hardly anymore, so it
I
doesn't
know.
matter. Moot point. Anyway.
It's right. We don't even like
You're
sleeve.
right. It's
I honestly, I don't like sleeve cards. That's really what it comes down to. But
Yeah, I sleeve very few things myself. Only like high traffic areas, right? Like cards that are gonna
Yeah.
get they shuffled a lot. But if I do, I'll guarantee you one thing: it's not gonna be green Mayday
Oh.
penny sleeves.
Oh.
It's gonna be actual, correct,
no, get out of here.
made for
Get outta here.
consumption
Oh.
kind of sleeves.
I want 10,000 sleeves for $1.
We have bought a lot of sleeves for very little money. We have not invested heavily. That's
And it's been great.
It's not a growing market, guys. All right. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to wrap it up, everybody. Like I said, thanks to all of you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Again, we're going to keep these. We're going to keep these coming. Thank you guys, definitely.
Happy to be here.
Mike, Nick, you guys are the best. I always love hanging out and chatting with you guys. I appreciate it.
This is awesome.
And thanks everybody and the chat for chatting it up and giving us questions.
Thank you,
all
chat.
that good stuff.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks, we're going to see you soon. You've been watching The Dice Tower. We're Ghost. Bye.
Bye.